Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy is brought to you in part by Tom's Place, the finest in men's fashion, located in Toronto at 190 Baldwin Street, in the heart of Kensington Market. Or visit toms-place.com. It's everything you never needed to know. This is Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
True or false? Did Andrew Jackson have a parrot named Pole?
Attention golf fans. Now, after I tell you this, you can practice your putting while you poop. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Roy. And this week we scoured the internet to find out these useless tidbits just for you.
Plus, we'll answer your questions in the mailbag segment. A listener wants to know if a famous line from the movie Jaws was scripted or improvised. And in the news, he just got out of jail, so what does he do first? You guessed it.
Totally useless information. It's everything you never needed to know.
Welcome back to the show. 100 countries around the world and the iHeartRadio Talk Network, coast to coast to coast in Canada and the United States. And we're excited because we have a guest again today. He'll be on a little bit later talking about cars. He's been on with us before. Sean Shapiro, the former TikTok traffic cop, because since he was on the last time, he retired.
That happens, you know.
What, retirement? Well, for some people. Let's go back in time.
Today is history. What happens tomorrow is history. Yeah.
He's got, well, that was great. That was great. For those of you who don't know, that's not Bob Dylan. It's not. Close.
It's not AI Bob Dylan.
No, it's not. It's Roy. Roy. Yeah. He's got this one I call, he's got presidential wood. Greg Harkins. Yes, you heard. Greg Harkins uses techniques passed down from the mid-1800s. His creations are in more than 20 countries. We're in a lot more countries than he was. And in homes of many famous people, such as former presidents.
I hearken to think about it.
That's Harkins. That's right. Bill Clinton, George Bush, Ronald Reagan, Jimmy Carter, former Vice President Dan Quayle, Paul Harvey, the great radio guy from years ago, Bob Hope, George Burns, and Pope John Paul II, and John Glenn, among others. So he has created some great stuff. What has he created? Rocking chairs. Rocking chairs for those people who are off their rocker, I guess. Each piece
for George Burns?
Yes.
Maybe for his cousin, too, Sideburns.
Sideburns, yes. It was a sideshow. Say goodnight, Gracie. Each piece of furniture is handmade, not machine-made. Greg uses a green and dry wood technique for his chairs, which results in a durable piece of furniture, an heirloom, if you really think about it, which will be passed down for generations. All the furniture is pegged, so no nails are used.
Okay, in 1807, Nick, you were born.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
To celebrate his victory in a war that he had just won, he wanted to give his troops something special. So Napoleon issued what he called the proclamation rabbit hunt.
Oh.
And they all went on this rabbit hunt.
Right.
But apparently a large group of rabbits banded together and decided to attack Napoleon and another person that he was with.
Oh. Okay.
It became a problem because the troops saw Napoleon being attacked by rabbits. So they had to slaughter all the rabbits, I guess.
That wasn't bunny. I mean, funny.
It got hairy.
It did. I haven't been hairy since 1982.
But, they slaughtered all those rabbits, cut off their legs, and they all had good luck ever after.
Well, it's been said many times before, so this is nothing original. But, usually a rabbit's foot is a good luck charm. No, not for the rabbit. Right?
Not for Lefty.
No. Lefty the rabbit. That's right. Same thing with chicken wings, right? It's like, they just chop off their chicken wings, but they don't fly anyway.
Yeah, why are buffalo wings made out of chicken? This is a conundrum.
It is. Well, just like German...
I prefer my buffalo wings to be made out of buffalo.
Well, here's the thing. So there's another podcast that you might want to check out. It's called Flavor Files. It's one of my colleagues here at News Talk 1010 here in Toronto, a part of the iHeartRadio Talk Network. His name is Jerry Agar. He and his son have a show called Flavor Files. So in the show, he had asked us here at the radio station to come up with a food that they never thought why was it popular, like avocado toast. But what I decided to do in the spirit of our show is I said, how about foods that you think were from one place, but they're not? So I talked about German chocolate cake, which is not from Germany. Right. French fries are not
the guy's name.
Right. And the French fries are not from France.
Belgium.
Here's my next fact. I call this not Crest toothpaste, but Pest toothpaste. Ancient Romans used abrasive. You know the ancient Romans, don't you? Mm-hmm. They were quite creative. Ancient Romans used abrasive mixtures for oral hygiene that included crushed mouse brains, bones, and oyster shells to clean and whiten teeth. Before Crest...
crushed oyster shells.
Right.
Crushed mouse brains
and bones. Yep.
Why? I would think the skull, not the brain.
Well, because they needed like abrasive mixtures, and I guess maybe
acidic. Maybe
right.
The brain might be very acidic.
So before Crest, there was Pest, right?
Yeah.
These ingredients were part of a modern, by their standards, bizarre dental regimen, which also included using, and we've done this on the show, human urine for its ammonia content.
Yeah.
And as we mentioned on the show before, because they use human urine for mouthwash, they didn't call it Listerine, they call it Pisterine.
Andrew, this was my tease.
Yes.
I said, true or false, did Andrew Jackson have a parrot named Pole? Well, it is true.
Right, okay.
So not only did Andrew Jackson have a parrot named Pole, he taught the parrot how to speak very clearly.
Right.
Upon his death, one of Andrew Jackson's requests was to please have a perch set up so that Pole could sit near the casket.
Oh, that's very nice.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Well, in came the priests, and they began to speak, and Pole began to scream out obscenities.
What? Really?
To the point where they had to kick Pole out of Andrew Jackson's funeral because he would not stop screaming very horrible obscenities that Andrew Jackson told him to do. Isn't that great?
It is. Shut the front door. How about getting wiggy with it? In the 17th and 18th centuries, powdered wigs became popular because they were more practical in terms of like cleaning them, more practical than lice, going through like your real hair with looking for lice, which was a severe problem at the time. So the wigs hid the lice, and it was easier to wash the wigs.
Plus the fact when the lice got big enough, they could twist the hair around as you were walking down the street.
That's why
it was in the back. Now it's in the front.
That's why they call him Curly.
My God.
Yeah.
Valentina Terrakova was the first woman in space, 1963. What a great year.
It was a fantastic year.
Yeah. So the Soviet Union sent Valentina up in space, but remember, they knew very little about space. So they basically told her, look, we're going to put you in the capsule. We're going to send you up in space. You'll be up there for a day or so, whatever. So pack light.
Yes.
Okay. But they asked her to bring toiletries with her, which she forgot by mistake, left them in the room before she entered the capsule.
No.
So she notoriously had no toothbrush to brush her teeth or any toiletries that they brought toiletries up with them. Speaking about Pisterine.
Well, yeah.
They brought their own toothpaste and toothbrush.
Wow.
And she forgot. It was a faux pas.
It was.
Yeah.
Or a rabbit paw.
I was just
say that.
I was going to say, speaking of paws.
On February 4th, 1912, there was an Austrian-born Parisian...
Nick was only about 6,
at the time. Yes, exactly. Yeah, you just said 1901 in the previous fact. How could I be 6 in 1912? But then again...
You were a slow grower.
No. You went to New York City High School, so that explains a lot.
Duh.
So a Parisian tailor, which really was born in Austria, he was Australian. No, he was Austrian, right?
Yeah. Austrian. And he went to Paris.
Right. Franz Reichelt, 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 right? Reichelt, also known as
Reichelt.
Welch.
Yeah.
He was known as the Flying Tailor.
The old Flying Tailor.
Yes. Well, the reason why they call him the Flying Tailor is because he jumped from the first platform of the Eiffel Tower wearing a suit that would serve as a parachute, the parachute suit. The garment was bulky, made of heavy silk and rubber, and resembled an oversized coat. Now, he had asked the
What was his name?
Franz Reich.
There's a memorial for him right at the bottom of the Eiffel Tower.
Although authorities granted permission on the condition that he use a dummy, but then again, he was one, he arrived at the tower and he announced that he would make the jump himself.
Yeah, he's a daredevil.
After hesitating on the ledge for 40 seconds.
Now he lives with the devil.
Right. After hesitating on the ledge for about 40 seconds, he jumped.
Did he live?
The suit failed to open, folding around him instead. He plummeted straight to the frozen ground and died on impact.
And thus, no one ever tried to do that again. You gotta hand it to the French, you know.
Well, that's why he was the Flying Tailor just once.
You know, I look at the French like the people that have a lot of good ideas but never actually make them happen. You know, if we put this thing above them, put some strings, and we'll call it parachute. But we'll wait for the Americans to perfect it. In 1936, Nick, you were about 14.
Oh, yeah.
In 1936, John Steinbeck, one of my favorite authors, by the way,
yes,
of Mice and Men. Did you ever read of Mice and Men?
Of crushed mice and men from the Romans, yes.
Yeah, you brush your teeth every day.
Yes.
He was writing of Mice and Men in 1936 when his Irish setter, Toby, was left home alone that night by his wife, who left the door open to his study, and Toby ate and shredded half of the manuscript for Of Mice and Men.
Whoa.
The only copy of that time, which he had to then rewrite.
Oh, wow.
So much for editing.
Nick and Roy will continue with totally useless information. We're back with totally useless information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn. Innovations, ideas. The Totally Useless Information Podcast presents Inventions.
We want to thank Sean. When he said handheld entertainment, I saw your face and I knew exactly where you were going. Downhill fast, and get a speeding ticket for that. What do you got in terms of inventions?
He's a nice guy now that he's retired.
That's right.
Okay, in World War II, scientists were searching for a better rubber substitute.
Okay.
This engineer named James Wright, working for the military, created this bouncing polymer material.
Right.
But it just wasn't dense enough. If you put too much pressure on it, it would stretch.
Right.
The Army said, no go for this. We don't like your idea. So he went around with the idea, and this woman who owned a toy store, Ruth Falgarter, she said, I love that. That's cool. We could turn that into a toy, and Silly Putty was born.
Wow, not so silly after all the millions that he made off of that patent.
That's right. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So
Silly Putty. Well, a lot of inventions, I think we've covered on the show over the years, is that a lot of inventions were created because of mistakes and rejects, inventions that were rejected for one thing and they wound up being useful somewhere else.
So you had that long talk with your parents about
I did.
mistakes?
Yep, exactly. And look what happened now. Now, we talked with Sean about drinking and, on the go, but there's a wine glass holder necklace that you can buy. It's wearable, hands-free, on a lanyard designed to securely hold a wine glass during tastings, festivals, and parties. Because
you never know what you might be doing with your other hands. You might be working one of those entertainment devices.
No, the handheld entertainment device.
You said no.
No. So this features an adjustable strap because not everyone's the same
the device
size.
or the glass
the
holder?
glass holder, yes. A secure.
You get one of them strap-ons.
No. Oh, is it Saturday already? It features an adjustable strap and a secure cradle. These holders are often made of neoprene, silicone, or fabric.
Oh, yeah. You always love to wrap a little silicone around your chest area.
Well, it's waterproof. Allow for easy socializing and snacking while keeping your beverage safe, because your hand and your arm gets tired if you hold your drink.
It's true.
While
Yeah.
you're
And
mingling.
if you know the person, you go in for a hug and take a sip.
Give me some of that. That's funny.
I got one, Nick. The roller coaster
Yes.
was actually a Russian invention in the 17th century. They would take wooden rails and spray water on them until they made a large ice coating around the wooden rails. Then they would slide a sled down those wooden rails, making turns and so on.
Yeah.
So this toboggan would be suspended by the wooden rails and made sharp hairpin turns and so on, scared the living hell out of everybody.
Yeah.
It's not until the 1800s that in Paris, the first roller coaster is actually launched, and it was called the Russian Mountains.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Are you a fan of
Yes.
roller coasters when you go to amusement parks?
I like them. Yeah, I do sometimes. These new ones are a little bit ridiculous.
Who comes up with those ideas and they get approved?
Yeah, I know.
I
And
don't
then the
know.
going backwards one, you know.
No. We have an amusement park up here in Toronto. It's just north of Toronto. It's Wonderland, Canada's Wonderland, which is like a Six Flags or Great Adventure type of stuff. And they had a roller coaster where you sat like on a stool strapped in. Like you were basically like standing on this ride. Any ride that has a sign that says, if you have a heart condition, do not go on the ride. I don't have a heart condition. I'll develop one if I go on that ride.
In the 1940s, Nick.
Yes.
What were you doing? Okay, in the 1940s, college teens would use, get ready for this one. I love this. There was a company called the Frisbee Pie Company. And when you finished eating the pie, they had a distinctive tin. The college kids would save the tins and throw them around the courtyard.
Yeah.
So this guy, Walter Morris, in 1957, had seen this a lot in college and said, you know, that's a cool thing to invent. And the space race was going on, so he called it the Pluto Platter.
Oh, wow. Nice alliteration.
Eventually, he just said, you know what, let's go back, because the college kids all know it as a Frisbee. The Frisbee Pie Company.
Wow. There you go. I love that one.
Cool is that, right?
Listen, laugh, and learn on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. The toilet paper hat, Roy. The toilet paper hat. You know what it is?
Well, I'll take my tinfoil hat off. And
That's right. No, it's not a hat made out of toilet paper, as one you might think. It is not.
No.
It is it's an artifact crocheted from yarn in the shape of a garden party hat, which Roy has a collection of, which would fit over the roll of toilet paper.
Oh.
So its role, I would imagine, is to prevent visitors from using the powder room from becoming overwrought, as I put it, by the sight of exposed rolls of toilet paper.
Yeah, the toilet paper hat would come in handy if you had to blow your nose, right?
Exactly.
Or if you're playing cards and get a royal flush.
That's what happens when the king goes to the bathroom. It's a royal flush.
They just keep going.
Which, by the way...
That's another reason to have the toilet paper.
Exactly. By
if
the
you
way,
just keep going, you want to have it.
Previously on the show, we talked about how the king has his own toilet. Whenever he travels, he has his own gold toilet seat he brings with him.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
does.
does.
Put his royal bum.
Yes.
Okay. This next one has its ups and downs, Nick. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
The yo-yo.
Yes. Yes. Yo-yo.
Was created in China. It was not a toy. It was and also used in ancient Greece, by the way. It was a personal protection device.
Oh, okay.
Used to swing at people, to hurt them. It was a string with this object attached to it that they could roll out and whack you with if you got nasty with them.
Right.
In the 1920s, a Filipino immigrant named Pedro Flores made it popular to take this string and device and do the yo-yo thing. It caught the attention of this businessman named Donald Duncan.
Oh.
And thus Duncan yo-yos.
I remember.
were
Did you
born.
ever have a Dunkin' Yo-Yo as a kid? I loved
did.
it.
I had an Imperial and a Butterfly.
Oh, wow. Mine, I think,
Oh,
was
yes.
orange, if I remember correctly.
Did not like the Butterfly. I did have a light up one too. Remember you?
Oh,
they
yeah.
had the batteries
Okay.
in. You can that was a Butterfly too, but I didn't like the Butterfly. My
Yeah.
Imperial though, I had a gold Imperial that I could walk the dog with, do the swinging thing in the triangle. I forget what they called that.
Any Rockin' the Baby or something?
Rock the Cradle.
Rock the Cradle.
There you go. Rock the Cradle. Very good.
So any members of our audience?
A little scary, Nick, but
it's
okay.
And any of you yo-yos out there who are still listening to the show, thank you. But go to nickandroy.com, and if you do have yo-yos, send us your pictures. We'd love to see those. And any of your yo-yo experiences as a kid. It's not a sandwich, it's a canwich.
What?
The canwich is a shelf-stable portable sandwich in a 12-ounce soda-sized can.
Oh, wow.
A sandwich in a can.
So the sandwich inside the can.
It's a canwich.
What? That's a good idea.
Created by Mark One Foods for quick on-the-go consumption, often featuring peanut butter and jelly or barbecue chicken.
I love peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah. You know what I put peanut butter on? An apple.
I've seen that before. Okay.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's good.
Yeah.
A lot of protein and good things for you.
Yeah, but I keep having the snake yelling at me.
Yes. Put that
You're not
down.
supposed to eat it.
That's right. Bite this.
I'm enjoying it so much.
It was developed with or similar to military-grade bread technology, which these kits generally feature a 1-year shelf life without refrigeration.
See, that's the cool part.
Yeah.
You can put the sandwich in a can.
Yep. Here's my teaser.
Mmm.
You can practice your putter while you poop. Now you can play.
Practice your putter while you poop.
Right. I don't know if it's the official slogan of this product, this invention.
Yeah.
But now you can play and practice golf indoors without going far away. You don't have to travel to any exotic locations.
Do you have to be pooping, or that's just one position?
Well, that's one. But whether you now, if you're in the office, this works, or any bathroom, washroom, you'll have.
Oh, so you can bring this with you,
right? And because it's
portable
portable,
device.
it's a portable.
Yes.
It's a portable. Yeah. Practice your putter while you poop. I don't want to know what a hole-in-one means.
I think I was just about to go there.
I don't want to know where his birdie is, but okay, nonetheless. You'll have a lot of fun. Now, don't worry about delaying your work because you can work at the same time as practicing your putter while you're pooping.
Pooping? There's a lot going on at this business.
You can get into the golf practice right away, right indoors.
That's multitasking.
It is. Quickly out of trouble or boredom, the golf set is a great toy, and it could be exciting in your life. Now, it comes with a putting green, 2 practice golf balls, a putter, a flag. The mini golf game includes complete accessories for your golf practice, a green carpet.
This is totally useless vehicle information with Nick, Meet, and Roy.
Hey, Nick.
Yes.
Speaking of totally useless.
Yes. Yeah, I'm Meep. So over the years that we've done this, since over 300 plus episodes and just about 7 years, we asked the voice lady who does a lot of the intro. She does a great job. I don't know how she came up with me being Meep and you being Vroom Vroom.
You know, it's a long story, Nick, and I don't want to get into it right now because guess who's here? Guess who's here?
The former TikTok traffic cop, and he's former only because he didn't get into any trouble.
No trouble. Just needed a change of scenery. Less driving.
Well, he's never been convicted. Let's put it that way.
Sean, formerly of the Toronto Police Service, now the former TikTok traffic cop, as I said, Sean Shapiro. Welcome back to the show.
It's good to be here. It's been a while.
It has been.
Yeah.
And so, we miss your voice. You have this great, what they call in the business, great pipes. You have some great speaking voice, and it sounds.
They used to call me that in high school.
Yeah, right, exactly. So let me ask you this. Now, you were traveling to your office, as you said, and you were rushing to get there. So this is my first question before we get into some facts about cars and whatnot and laws. And have you ever gotten a traffic ticket? Have you ever gotten a speeding ticket?
Well, I was 16 or so, and I got 2. So one was for doing 15 over, although I don't know what my actual speed was. That's what I was charged with.
Okay.
So no demerit points. Lucky. And I also got one for a stop sign or failing to stop for one.
Right.
And I was on the way to meet a friend, and I was pulled over by a York Regional Police officer who I later worked with through the motor squad. So I, whenever seeing him, remind him that he gave me a ticket.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did you ever get a speeding ticket, Nick?
Once, yeah, I did. I did on the Hutchinson River Parkway in the Bronx.
Me too.
I did.
Hutchinson River Park.
Yeah.
And the police officer was very, very nasty, and my grandmother was in the back seat.
Oh,
He kept cursing.
Oh, no.
He was cursing a lot. And I told him, "You want to watch your language?" My grandmother's sitting in the back seat, and he got even more agitated. And then I went to court because he wrote down like 10 miles more than the speed limit that he told me I had been over or whatever.
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, the end result was he went into court. He got so nasty that the judge reprimanded him like 3 times and then let me go for the ticket.
Wow.
Good. That's, I like to hear that, because there's no reason to be nasty. You can be professional and stern, but when you go and curse and truly be nasty, there's no call for that.
And he was ugly too,
Well,
so
ugly,
that didn't help.
okay.
Yeah, that didn't help.
So let me ask
He
you.
wasn't a good-looking man like you, Sean.
Right, yeah. No,
I
exactly.
appreciate that.
Wow. Lay it on
With the
thick.
pipes.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what,
with the
Roy?
pipes.
Roy, you don't have to lay it on thick. He didn't give you a speeding ticket, okay?
I know.
Which leads me
You
to this
never know.
question.
I might be driving up there, and that guy might still be.
Listen, let me ask you this question then. It's a great segue. So when you give someone a ticket, what kinds of excuses have you gotten where you roll your eyes? What kind of excuses have they tried to get out of the ticket?
Well, it depends on the ticket. Always the speeding tends to be I have to poo, pee, or other kind of emergency, right? And my response was always, "There's a bathroom at that Esso station. Let's go."
Now you do what Nick does. Just do it right in the car.
Oh no,
that's always an option. I
So
suppose.
wait,
You don't want to buy his used car,
So hold on. So you would escort them to the next gas station?
Not an escort. I would follow them there, and then I'd write their tickets while they were taking care of business. Now, I have a feeling they were just hiding out, waiting for me to, to look like it was an appropriate amount of time to do whatever kind of business they had to do. But they were shocked when they came back and they had a handful of tickets.
You know what I would have done, Sean? I would have actually done it right there, and so you would feel bad for me and not give me the ticket.
I was a traffic cop, no heart. I didn't feel bad for people.
Wow.
They caused their situation, not
Well,
me.
that's true, right? Because if a cop is pulling you over, not just to say hello and have a nice day, like you are obviously the person's breaking the law. They have broken the law.
You pull someone over because they did something wrong. You're holding them accountable. You're trying to change that behavior going forward. And if you felt bad for every sob story, you wouldn't be very effective in that role. And I heard it all. And when I was a brand new cop, I gave a lot of warnings, and I kept seeing the same offenders. In fact, I got one guy, I pulled him over. He had no license on him. He had some other issues, but he was driving his mom in the middle of the night to some factory to work. And I bought that. Almost a year to the day later, I pulled the same guy over with the same issue and the same excuse. But guess what? He got the ticket the second time. I learned.
So not only did he get the ticket that time, he also was grounded by his mother, right?
You're right, Sean. You're right. These people break the law, and they think they can get away with it.
Right.
And he was driving a Volkswagen, which made it even worse.
Oh,
right. He had to have a good tailwind in order to speed,
But, I had someone, I'll never forget this one. I pulled someone over for using their cell phone, and they said it was an emergency. Well, under the Traffic Act of Ontario, you can use your phone for an emergency. So I assumed they were calling 911, but no, they were calling home to make sure the dog sitter fed their puppy.
Well, that could be an emergency.
Not for me.
So we've invited you back. I don't know why, but we have invited you back to the show. We don't know why you accepted the invitation, but we do appreciate it here on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
Well,
Sean,
he's a cop, Nick. He's just trying to figure us out.
So the reason
why
we're
interrogating us, I think.
Yeah, we're interrogating him. So we call you the former TikTok traffic cop, but you're still doing TikTok, aren't you?
I'm still on TikTok. I've actually got a website now called askatrafficcop.ca or .com. They both work. It depends if you are anti or for the Canadian thing. So if you go there, you can ask questions. I answer them, and we're having a lot of fun. We never really stop. In fact, it's become my therapeutic way of giving back.
You know what I like about Sean, Nick?
What's that?
The real reason I like Sean, he has integrity.
Well,
okay,
it's important.
He has so much integrity. He once gave himself a ticket for speeding.
Actually, I gave myself a warning and a stern talking to, and then I just went about my day.
Then he started to cry, and then he had sympathy for himself.
And then he peed his pants.
It all comes full circle. See how it works, Sean?
Absolutely.
So I'm sure you've prepared some information for us, some useless information regarding cars or anything of the likes.
I don't know if this is totally useless or not.
Okay.
But it's important for your listeners. A electric bicycle is a motor vehicle, despite the fact that it is considered a bicycle under the law in Ontario.
Okay.
And this is important because, and not useless at all, because if you are impaired by drugs or alcohol and you're riding that bicycle, it's an impaired driving charge. So that's actually the most important thing to know.
Okay, so you say Ontario, but how many jurisdictions would you imagine this similar law would occur?
It's actually, sorry, I misspoke. It's actually a motor vehicle across Canada, but the law for e-bikes is the one that I was referring to, is specific to Ontario. So if you have an electric bicycle that is considered an e-bike in Ontario, if it has no more than 500 watts power, no more than 32 kilometers an hour top speed,
What
it
is
gets special
32
privileges.
kilometers in miles per hour?
25. What does that work out to?
25
That's what
or
we
so?
have down here, 24. You can't
So
go
if
over 24
so-
miles an hour.
So then you treat it as a bicycle provincially,
Right.
but federally, under the Criminal Code of Canada, that's a motorcycle or a motor vehicle.
Do any of you have electric bikes?
No, I don't.
I have an e-bike
Yeah.
that I don't ride very often, and it doesn't do very much, especially with my 300 pounds on it. But it cries a lot when I ride it.
I have a really good e-bike. It makes me look like I'm actually bicycling, and the pedals go around, and I just let my feet go around with them.
Right.
And everybody's like, "Wow, you really stay fit by riding your bicycle." I'm like, "Oh yeah." And it's really the e-bike doing all the work, dragging my big what around.
Yeah, and it's a stationary e-bike in his case.
Nick and Roy will continue with totally useless information.
Let's talk men's fashion and the best time to refresh your wardrobe. Hi, Nick and Roy for Tom's Place. Pick fresh spring patterns and vibrant colors and find fabrics from European and Canadian-made designers. Even the hottest new arrivals are on sale.
Say hello to spring with 50% off selected sport jackets, as well as designer, casual, and dress pants. And you won't find this anywhere else. Designer suits from $650, now only $399. Did you hear that? $399 for a designer suit. But Tom makes it even better. You can get 3 of those suits for $1,000.
What? Wow. Plus, suits marked down from $599 now from $249. Complete the look with a vest, dress shoes, and accessories. Great quality, unbeatable value.
Got a wedding, graduation, or formal event coming up? Why rent? Look your best with a 100% lightweight wool tuxedo starting at only $595.
Step into spring with style and a deal. Visit Tom's Place, open every day at 190 Baldwin Street in Kensington Market, and on their website, toms-place.com. That's toms-place.com. Tom's Place will suit you.
We're back with totally useless information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
Sean does a regular feature every couple of weeks on the Jerry Agar Show, one of the radio stations here on the iHeartRadio Talk Network, News Talk 1010 in Toronto. And in all the years, and I've seen your promo videos about pedestrians. They have a responsibility as well, not just the car driver.
Well, everybody who uses the road has a responsibility. And there's different levels of ticketable offenses. But at the end of the day, when you roll the dice and you roll wrong, you get hurt. And there's far less protection when you're walking than when you're driving.
Exactly. Did you know? Let me throw this one at you.
Sure.
Sir Alec Guinness warned a guy, another actor, 1 week before he died in a fatal car crash. He said, if you drive that crazy sports car 550 Porsche Spider, you'll be dead by next week. Alec Guinness was talking to James Dean, who then the next week died in a fatal car crash.
Wow.
So he predicted his death.
Or did he plan it?
He could have planned.
Dun, dun, dun.
You don't know.
So
see how the cops think, Nick?
That was Sir Alec Guinness. Was he drunk at the time? Did he have like a Guinness in him?
He did. Well, they named the beer after him after that.
They
were
did.
Like, this guy can predict anything.
All right. So there's a designer, Sir Alec Isigonis was
Say
focused
that
on
5 times fast.
how about 1 time slow, on maximum space efficiency, aiming to fit 4 adults and their luggage in a car just 10 feet long. So he had a design team. He had seats placed directly on the factory floor, asked various people from his office staff that were 6 feet tall to sit in them to determine exactly how much space they needed. They used string to mark out these dimensions, which directly informed the final and incredibly compact layout. 10 feet long, 4 adults, and their luggage.
Mini Cooper?
Yes, it was a Mini Cooper.
Ah, see, I knew it. I knew it just by the design of the Mini Cooper. So ridiculous.
Yeah.
In terms of traffic law, I try and find stuff that's useless, but it's all these obscure, it's more obscure or lesser known and totally useful. Like, did you know that skateboards aren't legal for use on the road?
Really?
Skateboard?
So where would they be?
In Canada.
Well, listen, laws are different everywhere, and I focus generally on Ontario. But a skateboard is not—it's a toy. It's not a vehicle for use on the road.
Oh, true. It's not a transportation device. It is a recreation
Some will argue.
device.
Okay, but I've seen some motorized skateboards. Seriously.
Totally prohibited.
Yeah.
Those electric skateboards are not permitted on the road, and they're motor vehicles, like we were talking about, it because it's propelled by something other than muscular power. But they're a huge problem. So are the one wheel. Have you seen the one wheel balance kind of gizmo
that's
gyro?
ridiculous.
No,
They're
That's
amazing.
ridiculous. How the hell are you going to drink and drive that?
Well, I have video of a guy doing 90 kilometers an hour on the highway, like being passed by vehicles, just standing up on a one-wheel unicycle. They're ridiculous.
Wait. Was he wearing a helmet?
You know what? A lot of these guys take their safety very seriously. They put their brain in a bucket so that we can
If
find
they
it.
took their safety very seriously, they'd be driving Hummers.
Yeah.
I'm going to segue from 4 people in that really small 10-foot car. What is the most amount of people that, Sean, that you've seen crammed into a car that was obviously illegal that you had to pull over and count? What was the most amount of people in a car?
I can't think of a big number. I mean, anytime you have more people than you have seats and seatbelts, it's illegal. Now, there was a change in law. There used to be a loophole. So if you had 4 people in a 4-seater with 4 seatbelts, well, that's the maximum, right? Well, that's the maximum now. But it used to be that if you had someone sitting on a lap or on the floor, like a minivan, 4 seatbelts, and for every seatbelt in the vehicle was being used, you couldn't charge the person who didn't have a seatbelt available. They were the excess space. It was outside. That loophole has been closed. So now every occupant must occupy a seat with a seatbelt. As a kid, you'd go in the trunk, right, of a minivan or of a station wagon. That was just one of the ways of traveling, and it was acceptable once upon a time.
Yeah, because the seats face outward, right?
Backwards, which that's terrifying to me. You can see the thing that's going to smush you. Crumple zones are crumple zones for a reason.
Right.
Not supposed to just terrorize
My
kids.
dad had the Buick Estate wagon. You'd sit backwards looking out the back window.
See where you've
just
been.
Sitting there going, God, I hope that man's brakes work.
Here's a funny thing. We're talking about sitting in the trunk. Okay. Did you know that it is stunt driving to have someone in your trunk while you drive?
There's nothing funny about that, Sean.
Wait a minute. Wait. Back up. Beep, beep, beep. Hang on. So you call that stunt driving if someone is in the trunk of your car?
It's not just called it. That's one of the definitions that triggers the charge of stunt driving. So you can do 50 kilometers. That you can do if you're caught doing 50 kilometers or more over the speed limit in the speed zone of 80 kilometers or higher. That's stunt driving. That's the one that people mostly talk about. 40 over in the speed zone under 80. Or having someone in the trunk of your car. There's actually a bunch of other ones.
In the Bronx in New York, we used to call it their last rites when we put somebody in the trunk of the car.
I was going to say, to all the gangsters out there, they're talking to you.
It's not stunt. It's not a stunt man. He's dead.
Yeah, that's different. I think they stipulate that there's an exemption for
exemption for corpses.
Something like that.
Now, by law, I don't know how many years ago, but you might answer this, Sean. Is that they have glow-in-the-dark handles in trunks of cars now, so that in case someone gets stuck in it for whatever reason, the glow-in-the-dark handle will be able to pull it out like an emergency handle.
A trunk release from the inside.
Okay.
I don't know how it came into play, but I have seen them. I think it's a great idea. Don't be in the trunk. I mean, maybe just in case it closes while you're looking for your spare screwdriver.
While you climbed in.
Right.
Who climbs in that trunk? Who does this?
Unfortunately, Tony from Chicago didn't like it too much.
That's the
I
like,
actually
same
saw-
person that sticks their finger in a mousetrap. These are the
There you
stupid
go.
people.
To say, is it going to work? I saw a guy test out the trunk of I think it was a Corvette, and he got into the trunk space, like showing how big the trunk was. He folded himself up and got in.
Yeah.
Wow. You know what? Then there was a guy who really was way out to lunch when he tried to get into the trunk of a Volkswagen Bug, not realizing it was the engine. But, that's just... Ooh. What else you got, Sean?
Well, we can talk about how magically your brain responds to injury differently when you turn 18, because apparently you have to be wearing a helmet when you're 17 on a bicycle, but when you turn 18, you have the ability to make a really silly decision and not wear one. That's me injecting some good advice. Wear a helmet if you're going to ride a bicycle. But
yeah, I agree.
We have age-dependent laws.
We don't a lot, but it is important.
It is safety first.
Although those helmets are kind of stupid too, some of them. I'm sure they'll help you, but they're not.
But so are spandex.
Yeah, that's not smart.
And that goes with riding too.
You're talking about on their head?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely when you wear it there.
On the way,
I tried to do that, but it looked very odd. I got a really good one for Sean.
Yes.
We all know what a dashboard is, right?
Yeah.
Why do they call it a dashboard?
Was there
I don't know.
some guy named Dash?
No, because the original cars had no windows because they didn't even invent that yet.
Right.
And they would drive down the roads that were not paved. The mud would fly up from the wheels and hit the person driving. So they created a board that they put in front to deflect the mud, and they called it a dashboard to dash away the mud.
Dash away the mud.
And it was made out of one simple piece of wood. And as they started to refine cars, they kept calling it a dashboard.
That's why I've never heard anything like that, but it makes sense. It's a
Stick
fender for your
around,
face.
Sean. Stick around.
Listen, laugh, and learn. That's why we say listen, laugh, and learn.
Did you know that you can get charged for distracted driving without touching or using a cell phone?
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I was distracted. What did you say? What is distracted driving?
Well, distracted driving usually refers to holding a cell phone or a handheld entertainment device.
Okay.
But it also applies to screens visible to drivers. So if
You
you're
know
a
he
passenger,
went there. You know he went there.
Sean, I'm
Nick
sorry to
started
interrupt.
that.
When you said
a handheld entertainment device.
All right.
But let's say Nick, you were watching your favorite video while I was driving. If I looked over and saw it, technically, that would make me eligible for a charge.
Sean Shapiro, thank you so much. Where can people find out? Because it is quite entertaining, because even though it may or may not impact your jurisdiction where you live, but anyone in our listening audience in the 100 countries around the world, where can they find you on the internet?
AskATrafficCop.com, or if you want to be Canadian, do the .ca. And we're looking for cops from all over the country and the world to be able to answer questions for their jurisdiction. So we're expanding.
Great idea. I love it. We're expanding too, but my doctor said stop, but that's okay.
I got to eat less.
Sean Shapiro, former TikTok traffic cop, but you can still find him online. Thanks so much for joining us on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
Sean.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Nick and Roy will continue with Totally Useless Information. You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
What's in the mailbag? What's in the mail?
As you know, I reside here in Toronto, Canada. Roy is down in Florida, and a lot of my email that I get come from my fellow Canadians. And this one this week is Samantha from Mississauga, Ontario, which is just west of Toronto. Dear Nick and Roy, we love your show. You guys are hilarious, and I always recommend your show to my friends. So thank you, Samantha, for that. Here's my question. I'm a huge fan of the movie Jaws. Great movie. One of the funniest lines that I enjoy is when Roy Scheider says, "You're going to need a bigger boat." Remember that from the movie?
Yeah, I love that movie.
I'm
I'm not a big Spielberg fan, but I like that.
It was a great one. Was this in the original script, she asked, or was it improvised? Great question. Thanks, Samantha. You're going to need a bigger boat, in fact, was the line. Roy Scheider added this as a running joke amongst the crew, who frequently used the phrase to mock producers regarding the small size of the support boat that was used during the famously troubled production, because it had all kinds of
it was terrible.
It was horrible. But because of the smaller boats, that's why Roy Scheider decided you're going to need a bigger boat. It was a running gag, and they left it in the movie. So there you go, Samantha.
Cool. I have Cheryl, spelt oddly, from Poland.
Okay.
It's like spelt like Cheryl.
Okay.
Cheryl
Cheryl.
from Poland. So Cheryl says, I'm an expat, love living in Poland. It has become my second home, but miss North American humor and North American shows. I love hearing you guys. I tune in every week. And I just want to say thanks so much for a little piece of home.
On the show today, we talked about history. We talked about inventions. We talked to the former TikTok traffic cop, Sean Shapiro, about cars. It's time for the news.
And now, from around the corner and around the world, this is TUI News.
Authorities in northern Colorado arrested a suspect wanted for stealing a fire engine and leading authorities on a pursuit shortly after he was released from jail.
Was it Sean?
No. That wasn't a segue, no. It all started just before midnight this particular day when Boulder police received a report of a man trying to open the doors of cars and homes. When the officers arrived, they arrested the suspect, later identified as Richmond Takashi Johnson. So 3 names.
Richmond Takashi.
Richmond Takashi Johnson.
Wow.
Took him to jail where he was booked on a third-degree trespassing charge and released shortly thereafter, a couple of hours later. Now,
He stole the fire engine.
hold on. Here's more to the story. Shortly after the suspect was released from jail, investigators said he allegedly stole a fire engine from Boulder.
Wait a minute.
From Boulder
so
Fire
they
Rescue.
trespassed him.
Right.
Let him go because it's Colorado. They
Right.
let everybody go. You
Sure.
can kill somebody, they let you go.
Right.
So then he left being trespassed,
Right.
and then he went and stole a fire engine?
From the Boulder Fire Rescue. Absolutely. They responded to the jail for an unrelated medical call at 3 o'clock in the morning. So just shortly, he was released at 3:30. At 3:39, they get this call for an incident. While
So
they
9
were
minutes later.
Yes. While they were in jail lobby, they treated the patient. An investigator said Johnson got into the engine 143 and drove away. Boulder
Maybe
County.
he was heated.
He wasn't sure. His pants were on fire.
Liar.
Because he was a liar, right? Exactly. Boulder County Sheriff's Office deputies began a pursuit and asked Boulder police for help. So now it's like third watch, right? Now you have the fire and police.
Hello. Some guy just stole a fire engine.
That's right. Johnson was spotted.
He should be given a ticket for bad gas mileage.
Right. That's right. Yes. So investigators said he refused to stop. He continued driving south on this particular road in Colorado before turning east on this particular road. Longmont
Was he
police
going to put out a fire?
We're not sure. Well, we'll see. Longmont police deployed stop sticks in multiple locations. Now, stop sticks are the ones.
I don't know. Do you think that works on a fire truck?
We're not sure.
Well, they put out the stop sticks, which are like nails.
Well, investigators said that likely because the tires were deflating because of the stop sticks. Johnson, what was his name? Johnson Takashi.
Richmond Kashi Johnson. Richmond Kashi Johnson. Takashi.
So the tires were being deflated, and so he lost control of the fire engine.
Oh, that's not good.
He jumped out of the engine and ran away, followed by Boulder County Sheriff's deputies and Longmont police officers.
How ironic it crashed and went on fire.
No reports of that, but I wouldn't be surprised. Johnson was arrested again within minutes. A Boulder County Sheriff's deputy suffered a minor injury while chasing the suspect, and there was significant...
Yeah, they're really on the ball. They arrested him in minutes. You
yeah.
He just stole a fire engine because he was trespassed, you morons. If you had kept him in jail and probably detoxed the lunatic,
right,
you wouldn't have these problems. But it's Colorado, folks.
So he was arrested for trespassing. He was released minutes later. Minutes later, he stole a fire engine. Minutes later, the tires were deflated, and minutes later, he was rearrested.
He's a real minute man.
Yeah. He is,
He's
according.
probably that way in bed too.
Absolutely.
But listen, Nick.
Yes.
The reason why we have all these lunacy stories of Florida is because we arrest people and actually put them in jail.
Right. Okay.
In Colorado, they let everybody
go.
So
Why
there's
not?
never a story until they do it 9 minutes later.
Well, that's why. No, they keep doing that because it gives us more information here on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
Yeah. Did they hose him down? Did they rubber hose him?
That's right.
What was his penalty for that?
He faces several charges in the latest incident, including
Several charges. We're gonna really charge him this time.
Yes.
We're gonna keep him in for 11 minutes.
He was charged with, in this latest incident, including obstructing a peace officer,
Oh yeah.
firefighter, emergency medical service supervisor, felony motor vehicle theft, resisting arrest, reckless driving, and felony criminal mischief because of the city
Plus,
property.
He has no right to put the siren on.
Wait a minute. Wait. The list goes on. Felony vehicular eluding, reckless endangerment, and driving after revocation prohibited.
Wow. So they must have kept him for at least 15 minutes.
By the way,
Just to read that list.
I know. I'll read
Charged
the
with 32 counts, sir. How do you plead? Not guilty. Okay, release him.
Now, I see the look on your face. You're wondering, well, what kind of vehicle was this Boulder Fire Rescue Engine 143? It was one of the city's electric engines, and it sustained significant damage.
It was an electric fire truck.
Right.
That's Colorado. Perfect.
There you go.
The guy was probably wearing Birkenstocks. That's why they didn't see him get in. Looks like a fireman to me. Colorado's best.
No, he's wearing camouflage. That's all the time that we have. You couldn't see him. That's all the time we have for this episode of Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. We will scour the internet far and wide to find more totally useless information just for you.
So until then, don't speed, do not steal a fire engine, and tell everyone you know to listen to this show. That's a brainwashing technique. Please tell everyone you know.
If you should do any speeding, just speed over to your email and tell everybody about the show. I'm Nick.
Yeah. And I'm Roy.
Thanks for listening.
Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy is recorded and produced in Canada. For more totally useless information, visit nickandroy.com. That's nickandroy.com. Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy has been brought to you in part by Tom's Place, the finest in men's fashion. Located in Toronto at 190 Baldwin Street in the heart of Kensington Market. Or visit toms-place.com.